Biggest myth on the internet is iPhone has the best camera.
Intel has fired a lot of people. Intel is even fired its CEO. Most interesting is that Anarc watch that you're wearing.
Like, I didn't like the watch. Okay, I also read about Sundar Pichai's comment on AI, and which was crazy. He said AI will not see much innovation. Clapping with two smartwatches. You have read the title, read the thumbnail. The last podcast was very good. You guys really appreciated it. So here's another one. And this has been a banger week. You just dropped a bomb video. How was it? How was the experience?
It's good to be back.
It's good to
be back with a bang.
So there is one comment, and I think that's the most important question of this entire podcast. Kunal भाई TechWiser के सभी वीडियोस आप ही करिए. You are very lively and energetic. Who is Kunal?
Who is Kunal? We have to figure that out together. Maybe we will be after end of this podcast. And of course, I see two smartwatches.
Two smartwatches.
But we will do it. We will wait till the end.
We will talk about it. We'll talk about it.
Ekdam last one.
But yeah, your name, everyone gets it wrong, like a lot of times.
Yeah, sometimes it's Kunal, sometimes it's Mrunal, MRU.
And sometimes people can't even pronounce
Who is this guy?
Who is this guy?
Chalo. So it's been a while, and we have seen a lot of smart. This has been a hot 2 weeks. Oh my God! There are scams, there are launches, what not. Maza aa gaya.
Yeah. So usually people might not know, but after Diwali, after the sale, October, November, December is the time when we just go for vacation. We take it light. People take leaves and do that. But this time we are overworking.
People get married.
People get. So yeah, so we take a time off. But now flagships are launching. Like usually it doesn't happen in October, November, December. No one wants to launch their flagships at the end of the year to be called just last year's flagship after 1 year, after 3-4 months. So we had Vivo launch Vivo X200 series. Oppo for after a long time launched their flagship. Yeah, Realme launched their first flagship for India, the first Snapdragon 8 Elite, Realme GT7 Pro. Then there was iQOO 13. So a lot of flagships have launched, and all of them are from the Chinese manufacturers. So they launched it at the same time when they launched it in China. This is very interesting. Like premium smartphones or flagship smartphones in India from companies which used to sell premium or mid-range phones.
So at one side we have Chinese flagships, and at the other side we have flagships from Google, Apple, Samsung.
The more established.
More established brand, and both are upcoming.
Yeah.
So as a viewer, I have this question, and a lot of people can relate. Earlier, if I would have asked, I have 50 to 60,000 and I have to buy a good flagship, most people would have recommended Apple and Samsung. Now, if I have the same question, and you have seen the entire market, you have been doing this for almost 3 years, 4 years now. So what would be your take now?
Now the competition in this 50 to 60,000 is pretty crazy. Like if you talk about the other brands like Apple, Samsung or Google,
They are to 1 lakh plus.
Yeah,
now.
their 50 to 60,000 phones are way compromised when you compare it with the Chinese flagships. So Chinese flagships are offering you everything that these brands are offering under 1.2 or 1.3 lakh.
Yeah.
So the question, it used to come out quite a lot, ki if I have 50 to 60,000 rupees, why would I buy a non-Samsung, non-Apple, non-Google phone? Like why? So
tell us why.
Yeah, I'll tell you why. So the most common or the biggest myth on the internet is iPhone has the best camera, iPhone has the best battery, iPhone has the best software, iPhone gives better software updates. These all vanished. Like let's take by example. Number one, iPhones had the best battery because they had best optimization, best everything. So I roughly remember on the top of my head, iPhone 16 Pro has 3800 mAh battery. And
16 Pro?
Pro, yeah. Pro with the 120
Max?
Hz.
What about Max?
16 Pro Max has roughly like 4,500 or something
that's
like that.
Still 1,000 less than the basic what you get in Chinese flagship.
Correct. Pro to has basically almost half of what you get now. Like Chinese flagships were giving you 6,000 mAh battery. Charging will little, charging is 25 watt. Now they have given 40 watt, 45 watt with Samsung and all of that. Yeah.
So in both terms, they are more or less like 50-60% of what you get in Chinese flagships.
Then we come down to software updates. Software updates, they used to support it for a longer time. Faster updates, you give first updates. Apple hasn't dropped Apple Intelligence as of now in India. There is there in beta, or by shooting this podcast, I think yesterday it came, but very late. All the AI features from the start of 2024 you are getting is dropping now on Apple. Number 3 was your camera. Camera, we'll put best specs. We do lot of HDR plus hardware and camera sensors and all of that. Now let's break down this battery, software or camera bit by bit. Battery, when you come to Chinese flagships, you get 6,000 mAh battery. Like, fun fact, we came to your reception the previous Sunday. I was daily driving a Vivo X200 Pro. I didn't carry a charger. So for the entire one and a half day, I was like, क्या ज़रूरत है? My phone lasts 2 days.
It lasts 2 days on a single charge.
Easily lasts 1.5 days.
And how much battery
Since I was
does
on
it have?
reception, I took a lot of photos.
Yeah.
And I was also testing the device. Easily lasted 1 day.
So how much battery does it have?
It has a 6,000 mAh battery, which can again fast charge at 90 watt.
So I think this is because of silicon carbon.
Silicon
so
carbon
is there any battery that has surpassed 6,000 in India? Like
There used to be a
6,500 is
techno
there in
phone
China.
that used to do 7,000 mAh, but that was not that massive. Like, the phones were massive by then. These phones are even slimmer, has the same profile and still packs a big battery. There's also a Redmi phone with 6,120 mAh battery. So all these Chinese manufacturers now have silicon carbon. So they have amped up the race so much. Like, now it carries way more battery than a Samsung, Google or an iPhone.
How much do they have? Samsung, iPhone, Google?
So Samsung, the best that you get is in Ultra, that is 5,000 mAh. I'm talking specifically flagships. And on the 24
5,000.
base, you get
5,000
4,000. No, 4,000.
No, Ultra?
Ultra is 5,000 mAh,
5,000?
S24 is 4,000 mAh, and 4,500 mAh on S24 Plus. And I remember iPhone Pro is 3,500 as I told, and Pro Max is 4,500. So roughly Google ka bhi itta hi hai, more or less the same. And now here they went from 5,000 to 5,500, and now they are on 6,000, and they might
Chinese
even
flagship.
breach that. I think Realme ka one phone is coming with 6,500 mAh
Yeah,
battery,
yeah,
so they will
yeah.
breach even that.
Yeah.
So that is there. They give way better battery life. Like, there's only some places where you can. There are only few places where you can compete based on software. Like, after a point, software cannot give you that much return if the hardware is not there in the first place. Then again, plus battery lasts 1.5 days, 2 days, and also you can fast charge it in just 25 minutes or 30 minutes, and you're good to go for the next 2 days.
Yeah. Most Chinese flagship have like 100 plus fast charge, and most of the Google, Apple, Samsung, they have what 45 watt at best. So
In
there's
their
al-
flagships, max
in the-
45 watt,
max 5.
or maybe somewhere in the M series they give 45
and
watt.
even in their, I think Ultra, they only bundle it with the less fast charging cable.
Same goes with iPhone. The cable that they give you, that cannot fast charge your phone at the full capacity. You will have to buy a different cable. So they ensure that you don't even charge it at 45 watt by default.
So in terms of battery and fast charging, Chinese flagships are a very clear winner, and that too for a very long time. They have seen a test of time.
Even test of time, because earlier there was a whole skepticism or questions or about that ki phones though are not blasting because of 100 or 120 mAh. They say they might even degrade faster. But fun fact, iPhone claims 500 cycles with their iPhone 15 Pro Max. Like, that is what your battery will last before it gets to 80% battery health. Whereas iQOO, Realme, since the start they have been claiming 1500 cycles. And so far we have seen it's more or less the same battery degradation that you have with 25 watt or 45 watt. So their tech in terms of battery and charging is 3 times better than what you get in the normal brands.
So what about software? Software mein the general perception is that Samsung, Apple, Google, they are better.
So number one, I think Google has an image of getting you Android updates first. But we have seen from Android 14 to 15 to 16, there has not been much of feature changes. Little bit security changes, and little bit of features that you're getting is coming either from One UI, HyperOS, or somewhere else. Samsung has a whole perception of giving faster updates and for longer. 3 years, 4 years, now they have gone 7 years.
Yeah.
Is it?
7 years.
7 years. With the iPhone, it's always been there. We support your phones for a longer time. Phones age well and all of that. They gave the iOS 18 update. We have iPhone 13, 14 in-house. They are suffering from that. Now, let's come to the Chinese flagship. This year, Samsung has still not launched One UI 7 beta for India. And on the other hand, Vivo, iQOO, OnePlus, Realme, all of them had launched stable Android 15 for their flagships or their phones before all of, like, about, it would now become almost 2.5 months before that.
So update to pehle aa gaya.
Update
What
pehle aa gaya.
about features?
What about
AI
features? Yeah, that's the point. So now some of the top of the AI features, like 3 or 4 that you use: circle to search, magic eraser, magic editor, and summarize notes, calls, translation, or article. Now all of these features have also come on the other Chinese flagship. Like, if you buy a new smartphone or a new flagship in 2024, chances are you'll have magic eraser, you will have article summary, you will have call transcribe, recorder transcribe, or even if you don't get it, just download Google Photos. Google has given it to every phone
Yeah.
starting from Android 12 or 13. Even iPhone mein yaar, you get iPhone mein Magic Eraser before Apple gave it. Google has it in Google Photos. So वो जो edge है ना,
The
in
mode
terms
that they had on software is not there anymore.
is not there anymore because all of them, like a certain default criteria is being provided on all flagships. You can say they have slight edge because they are innovative. They are the first to do all of these things, but that is also being done by other brands quite rapidly. They are fast. They are fast in doing all of these.
So what we are saying is software is now same on both platform in terms of battery and charging. Chinese flagship has an edge.
Better.
What about brand value?
See, brand value is something which takes a lot of time. Like brand बनने, brand perception build on it takes time. Like these legacy manufacturers have been doing it for 10, 15 or even more years. So you have seen people around you use an iPhone, use a Samsung. Like fun fact, 2-3 years ago when I used to go to the airport, I always saw people using Samsung, Apple or OnePlus. And I always had that perception that at good places, people use these phones. But now when I'm moving outside that, even my friends are asking, they are buying Vivo flagships, they are buying iQOO phones. A lot of people are excited about Oppo ka camera, Oppo Find X series.
And after sale?
After sales, it's good with Vivo. Vivo and iQOO, we have personally tried. We have also did a service center review. It's, if not great, it's there. If you say Apple and all is 9 by 10, Vivo would be a good 7 by 10. Not that bad. Rest, I think nothing, Motorola and all of that still have issues. They can get better. Google has.
What about
service
the
center.
updates on Motorola? The software updates on Motorola. Is it on?
In
is it
fact,
there?
Motorola also dropped their stable Android 15 update
Before Samsung.
Before Samsung, yeah. That's like before GTA 6. Motorola updated their phones with Android 15 before GTA 6. So yeah, they gave it to Motorola H50 Fusion. They gave it to Motorola H50 Ultra. And again, all the AI features, they put via an app called Moto AI on their Ultra, Razer and all of those phones.
So battery there, software updated same, and brand value is also emerging from Chinese flagship. What about camera?
Camera is something very interesting. So what happened was usually 2-3 years ago, if you had 100 efforts to put on a camera, 50 was given to hardware, 50 was given to software. So a certain Google or a certain Apple said ki we'll use the same sensor for 4 years, but we'll make the software so good that our camera will be miles apart from everyone else. But that hardware also has some limits. Here the Chinese flagships are now putting 1-inch sensor, which is huge. They have given away 1-inch sensor, they have slightly reduced it, but there are bigger sensors, like sometimes twice as big as what you get over there. There's a periscope camera. They're doing APO telephoto where the lens can theoretically float and take macro. So they're putting superior hardware, and all of these Chinese flagships have also tied up or collaborated with traditional camera players. Like Vivo has Zeiss, which they use lens coating and everything, which does give an effect. Xiaomi has Leica. Oppo and OnePlus has Hasselblad. So that collaboration effort is also coming in. So 1020 वो भी उनका software कर दे रहे हैं. So 80, they have 80 on hardware and they have 20 from those people and their own algorithm, their own chip. So they are neck to neck, and at times they're even better than these phones.
So what we are saying is, अब हो गया है. Chinese flagships are there. The perception has to be changed.
Perception has to change. Like you cannot reject that by saying, like personally, our audience was hyped about the Vivo flagship. Like Vivo was one of our overperforming videos if you go, and which was surprising. Even we were hyped about the X200 Pro, and you usually don't do this. You usually do camera comparison after a Samsung Pixel or an iPhone is launched, and we are doing an ultimate camera comparison after Vivo has launched their flagship. See,
we will do another one after.
We'll do another, of course. People ask, we give, we get views. That's to there. We are in the business of it. So
yeah, I think the perception now, it's high time the perception that Chinese flagships are behind has to change. They are actually leading.
They are fast. They are fast. They are innovative. What a certain Apple and Samsung will do in 2, 3, 4 years, since they have a huge user base to cater to, they don't want them to get disappointed or go away. These people have no user base. So they are fast, they are innovative, and they are beating them on every single front.
Yeah, interesting. I think we are the first one to have this controversial opinion out there on the internet.
Hot take. I want this to be the perception on the internet ki there are brands doing good. Move out from these, and then that will help these brands to innovate further. Because जब market share जाता है तभी brand innovate करती है. If people are going and buying the same phones, they won't innovate.
Arey, talking about market share jana, we have
Oh,
Intel.
Intel. So my feed is bombarded with these videos. Like there are also another kind of videos which will bombard my feed. We'll get to that. But Intel is failing, is all over my feed.
Yeah.
So suppose I'm a smartphone user. I don't know about this. So I've not even watched those videos. Is Intel failing?
Well, definitely. There, like, if you take a look from the internal side of Intel, we have like Intel CEO recently.
I know you
was
did a
fired.
lot of research. You have your insiders inside.
Yeah,
Intel.
yeah, a
You
friend
spoke
of mine, a
about
very good friend of mine, works at Intel. We used to work at Intel.
it. I used to work in Intel.
So he shifted to actually ARM.
Oh,
ARM is doing tremendously well now. So Intel has fired a lot of people. Intel is even fired its CEO. So that's one side. The other side, if we see, Intel is the only company in the world that does.
Oh, even the revenues are down, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
this
yeah.
is proper laying off people. This is not those layoff like you remove the bottom 1% because of performance issues and all of that. This is proper cost cutting. Like
Proper
even the
cost
CEO is fired.
CEO is
So this
fired.
is proper cost cutting because of revenue.
They lost 16 billion with a B in the
Yeah,
what,
16 billion.
Q3 of 2023. Never, the companies are not worth that much.
And where not a stock recommendation, I put my money in Nvidia, the OpenAI, Microsoft, and all of that. So where Nvidia, ARM, or TSMC are overperforming in such a market, Intel is underperforming.
Exactly. It's not even like Intel stock, if you see, has been down by 50% starting this year. And on the other hand, we have AMD, TSMC, and ARM, Snapdragon. They are up by 80%.
80%, yeah.
So the market is going up, but the Intel is going
the
down.
only
So
player that's going up.
that's compare. If you take all of this under consideration, CEO firing, laid off, and the share going down, Intel is definitely
failing.
struggling. They are failing, and by a hard margin.
Okay. So as far as I know, Intel is a big giant company, right? Like Intel probably.
It's the only company in the entire world that does all three parts of chip manufacturing in-house. So Intel is for a reference, Intel is the only company in the world that does three parts of chip making all in-house. Chip designing, chip architect, as well as chip fabrication. If you have to understand, there are three companies in the world that does all three of them, and Intel on the other hand is doing all three combined in-house.
So, like, if I have to just tell people a very simple analogy, Intel does the work of ARM, Qualcomm, and TSMC inside one single company.
Exactly. Like if you like consider chip designing to be like you have to build Delhi NCR.
It's a metro city.
It's a metro city. Chips are very complicated. So first you will need to make a foundation whether you want Delhi NCR to be a village, to be an urban city, or to be a suburban city. So that is what would be your architect.
Yeah.
है ना? So that's the same, like either you choose an ARM or you choose an x86. x86 for desktop, ARM for mobile.
समझ गया.
Now once you have that, now you need to hire civil engineers to make a blueprint on a. So just like that, like you have to do just like that. You have to do chip designing for Intel, and then the third layer would be fabrication. So you will have to hire workers and civil engineers to construction companies to design roads, buildings, municipality, all of that. So that is what chip fabrication is. So either you do it like TSMC does it for mobile, and for mostly desktop computers, Intel does that.
So this is a big thing. Like just to give the scale of things, how much does it take to set up a fabrication infrastructure or a chip manufacturing or fabrication process?
Other than the lot of resources, if we talk about monetary part, somewhere close to 20 billion.
That's
Either
what they lost.
that's all what they lost in Q3.
That's a huge amount of company. So Intel, which is such a big company, which is doing the work of ARM, Qualcomm, and TSMC, why did they fail?
Why would you think they fail? If you have to make a guess.
Yeah, Hamesha there is always their lack of innovation. That is always their
innovation.
lack of innovation. Second, since I am into in this space, they didn't jump onto smartphones, is what I remember. But help me understand
AI.
3 big points to someone who's not into laptops, or I just know the name of Intel because Intel Inside or all of that used to come. So I just know the name of Intel. I understand it's a very big company. So help me understand in just 3 bullet points, why did they fail?
3 bullet points. Okay, so I will just take 1 bullet point. I would say it's leadership. Intel, the biggest mistake that they have, even the friend I was talking to, he said, they have hired consecutively 3 wrong CEOs. By wrong CEO, I mean they were from the business background and not from the tech background. So the first CEO that they have, Paul Altonelli, they hired. around this was around 2007. So Apple came to them, asked them, would you like to make a chip for iPhone? They say no, because Apple is a new company, loss ho gaya to.
loss ho gaya to.
So they'll, with that decision,
And this was
ARM
the time
born.
people didn't have smartphones. They never imagined internet in the size of a phone in their hand.
So Intel CEO, since they were from business background, they cannot anticipate what smartphone would be. They thought it's a fad, come and go. So with that,
Like,
ARM was born.
Like pre-wedding photography.
So ARM आया, they lost the entire mobile market there. थोड़ा बहुत try किया later on, but that didn't pan out. So in 2014, they hired another business CEO, Brian, and again, ASML came to them and asked them, would you like to try this UV lithography machine that we have recently innovated? They said no, and then again, they went to TSMC, and TSMC rose to power after that.
What is ASML?
So ASML is a Dutch company, Advanced Semiconductor Lithographic Machine, something like that. It's a Dutch company, which is the only company in the world that manufactures a high-end lithography machine. Think of it like you have, if you're building a Delhi NCR city under construction, you will need a mixer to mix sand and cement. And there's only one company that does it. So ASML is the only company in the world that makes lithography machine, which is used during the chip fabrication process. So if they are not there, you cannot manufacture chips. And they have recently, like around 2014, they have made a EUV machines. EUV lithography machines, and it was very precise. They came to, would you like to try it? They said no.
So what was the third movement?
The third movement was series of it, but mostly the third CEO, Bob Swan, that they have hired, he was not a firm believer of generative AI or even the crypto. But we all know from crypto, Nvidia was born, and from generative AI, they had an option to invest in OpenAI, but they didn't.
Microsoft made a boom out of it.
OpenAI or the AI. So they missed the graphic card wave, they missed the AI wave, they missed the smartphone wave, crypto wave, everything. They even a lot of chances they missed. Big competitors have arrived from that.
So you talk about ASML, and I think EUL is the technology that made them. EUV is the technology that made them make so much money and be the only one competitor to supply the machinery to build fabrication. What is EUV?
EUV made TSMC more than
it made ASML.
ASML has been making lithography machine. They are way ahead. Like industry people say it will take 20 years to reach where ASML is currently, and not to forget a lot of capital as well.
That's a very
so nobody is going to compete with ASML. They are way ahead of imagine a only company in the world that is making the machinery needed for all chips. Apple can make it, Google can make it, but they won't. If they start today, it will take them 10-20 years to be where there is, and ASML will be gone 10 years ahead by the time. So it's TSMC which gained from that EUV movement, and of course Intel lost.
So what is EUV? Like just coming back to that question, how important is an EUV while making a chip?
Okay, so there are two things. One is EUV, the other was DUV. So EUV is extreme ultraviolet and DUV is deep ultraviolet. So think of it like a bread, and you have to carve something. Now either you can take a knife and carve a design out of it, or you can take a laser. If you take a laser, the design will be extremely precise. Now imagine if a bread is sliced into 1/2 or 1/4 or even like 1/10 of it. So if you have a laser, you will be able to extremely or precisely able to
suppose I just want to write TechWiser on a bread, it would be much more easier to do it with a laser than a knife.
If it's a bread is normal size, then you can do it with both, which was fine till the size, like we were at 20 nanometer, 30 nanometer. But if you slice the bread into like 1/5 of it, then knife is very difficult, but laser is extremely precise. So as you go down in nanometer, EUV has more advantage because it has more precision. And this is why in 2014 or even 2020, you might have seen Intel was still stuck at 10 nanometers. By the time TSMC, which get that EUV technology, they were manufacturing 7 nanometer.
They also moved to 3 nanometer.
Now everybody is on 3 nanometer. But 2020, Intel was at 10 nanometer. And TSMC was at 7
nanometer. They got to 5 and now they are at 3. I think this last Core Ultra series that they launched, Intel actually went to TSMC to make their chip. And this was the first time when they gave a chip manufacturing to a different company. Up until now, they used to do it in-house. So now, then how will Intel make a comeback? Like, what is happening now?
Currently, there's no idea. Like nobody has any idea how they will make a comeback. It's extremely difficult now. But after they have fired
This
their
could be that big Google Yahoo movement, right?
yeah. After they have fired Pat Gelsinger,
Pat Gelsinger.
so they have hired two CEOs, and now Intel move is to separate two companies. So one would be a foundry, IFS, Intel Foundry Services. The other one would be the Intel Corporation. So both of them will operate independently, different CEOs, different board. If the foundry wants to make chip for anyone, they are open to do that. And let's say Intel Corporation, because one of the thing that I got to know while talking to my friend was that Intel engineers are saying our designs are good. But if I go to my Intel foundry, they will take time. And then they will also, it's also expensive. So the engineers were bottlenecked because of their own foundry.
Matlab, I have a very good food recipe, but my chefs are not capable enough to make that.
Yeah. So now they have separated into two organizations. The Intel Corporation people can go to TSMC as well. Different chef.
So now
and
I
make
think
the dish they want.
There would be a time now that my Intel laptop can have a chip manufactured by TSMC or Samsung.
Exactly.
Or my phone can now. Where's my phone? Let me grab my phone. Or my phone. Oh, people might be listening on audio as well. So, and my phone can have a chip which is manufactured by Intel.
Correct. So basically, the Intel engineers will decide whoever gives them chip faster and cheaper. Whoever fabricates a chip faster and cheaper, they will go to them.
Oh, there's a big term that I see being thrown around, and I think that's the reason why Samsung is also not giving Exynos in their current S25 series. Probably that will come with Snapdragon. That's what the rumors are. But the term is yield.
Yeah.
What's yield?
So yield is a term that is used during chip manufacturing process or chip fabrication process. So let's say I'm TSMC. Generally, they say TSMC has a better yield than Intel.
Acha.
Now it doesn't matter to Snapdragon if they will only pay for per chip. But if I'm a factory, I will have to think of it this way. I take a wafer, and if I take a wafer, and if Intel is able to get 10,000 chip out of that wafer, TSMC, because they have a better tech, they might be able to get 12,000 chip.
Acha.
So they get 2,000 chip more, and for that more money they make, the more money they put into the organization, and they can grow. So that's yield.
So far I can understand yield doesn't matter to a customer. मेरे को फर्क नहीं पड़ता if I have a laptop, if I have a smartphone. This yield doesn't matter to me. But suppose I'm Zomato and there are two restaurants inside me, restaurant A, restaurant B. So if restaurant A can take 1 kg of atta and make 10 rotis out of it, restaurant B can take the same 1 kg of atta and make only 5 rotis out of it. So restaurant A, who's able to make more rotis out of that, will always be more profitable, more successful, because they can get more out of that thing.
Yeah, exactly. That's what yield is.
So I stuck to that Zomato example because the other day I ordered 10 roti from Zomato and only 5 of it came, and I was with the customer care for about 10, 15, 20 minutes. So I was hungry.
Yeah, but Zomato is everywhere.
Zomato,
And every time every morning I wake up, I swipe left to see the Google Now.
Yeah.
I see news from Zepto, Zomato, Swiggy, Blinkit, everywhere. Even
Even if you refresh the Twitter feed, sometimes they are hiring from Twitter, sometimes they are asking money from Twitter, they are hiring interns. People are requesting features to Blinkit on Twitter, and in a day or two, it gets implemented. Imagine suggesting a feature to Apple for iOS, and Apple implements it after 2 days and replies to you on Twitter ki kar diya.
They're growing fast. That's
fast.
a good growth. I think this is one of the reason why there's a lot of problem with employment engagement and resignation or toxic work culture in Zepto. Even their HR has resigned. So this is one of the reasons. Like whenever you grow so fast, things like this happen. And Amazon is also entering this market.
So fun fact, I'm speaking from personal experience. I don't know if how many people can relate to this, but if you live in a tier 1 or tier 2 cities, quick commerce like Zepto, Blinkit, Instamart is a very big deal.
Yeah.
And people were skeptical when they launched during the COVID कि कितने time ही चलेगा. These people are burning money, but these people are growing fast. Like personally, for the past 1 year, I have ordered nothing from Amazon. I rarely order anything from Amazon, but I order from Blinkit or Zepto twice or thrice a day. That's how good it is.
Same, and it's also cost effective now. Like the other day I wanted a body wash. My natural reaction would be to go on Amazon and order it next day. Just for a moment I checked Zepto, and it was 100 rupees cheap. It was 350 there, 250 on Zepto and I got it for 10 minutes.
Exactly. You
not
get in
to-
just under 10 minutes.
Yeah, earlier it started with groceries, but now for all this cosmetics, PS4, PS5,
PS5, they're selling
iPhone.
laptops. Yeah. Flipkart has 10 minutes. They're selling laptops in Bangalore. So
Yeah.
this quick commerce is pretty crazy. Now, this is very interesting because all of these concepts at the same exact time also came in USA and America, where it was on the boom because people didn't want to go outside. And India as a country, like, I cannot make my mom or anyone understand, or I myself cannot understand. I will never pay for convenience. I'll just go outside, walk, buy milk, and come back. But I'm still paying for it. So why are
Everybody
these things growing so fast in India?
Yeah, like nobody would have imagined. In first world countries like US, Europe, there is no 10 minutes delivery app as popular as what you get in a developing country like India. In India, people are paying for convenience. That's something that nobody would have imagined. And it's growing at a rapid pace.
So why is it happening? Why is it happening?
Why
do you think it's happening? Yeah.
I think India is placed in a very unique climate, and there are multiple overlapping reasons, which is why it only happened in India, nowhere else.
Give me like top 3 reasons why do you think this is happening?
Okay, so first would be India is very high density.
Yeah.
Other than US is very spread out. People go take 2-3 hours to reach to work, and India it's very high density. Delhi, Mumbai, Bangalore, very high
Hotspots, yeah.
hotspots,
It's Delhi, Mumbai.
And, so 10 minutes delivery can't be possible because buildings are there. Other would be India is the only place in the world, very few places in the world, where across the road you will see an Antilia as well as Dharavi. So one would be ordering, the other would be delivering.
Interesting.
That's the only place in the world. And the third would be, of course, regulations. Yeah, I don't think it's mentioned anywhere, but India is the only place jahan you can put a truck and start loading your dark stores in the middle of or you can ask delivery people to just do delivery in 10 minutes. They can like ignore all the red
Traffic
lights,
signals,
traffic lights,
all of
and
it.
delivery ho jayega.
So a lot of
So
problems.
rules are very latent.
But a major factor of these people flourishing is also dark stores.
Yeah.
And dark stores are very different from how Amazon and a Flipkart operates. So what is a dark store?
Okay, so there are two points here. Well, like Amazon and Flipkart operates on COCO model, company owned, company operated, which is very like scale nahi hota usme. But dark stores are FOFO, franchisee owned, franchisee operated. So let's say I have 30-40 odd lakhs, I can open a dark store. Now, what is a dark store?
And I'm not something like a seller of the stuff. Like I'm not selling Maggi noodles or anything. I can be any random person who has 40 lakh rupees and I can open a dark store.
Yeah, very simple. Like if you have 40 lakhs, 10 lakhs for that 1,000-2,000 square feet of area you will rent. 10 lakh would be the deposit and maybe 5-10 lakhs for the fridges and shelves and stuff. Bus. And inventory though it will be supplied by Swiggy, Blinkit, etc. And delivery is also there. So बस वैसे ही हो जाता है. Now dark store is basically like imagine Reliance Fresh, but remove all the customers and there is one person who will just quickly they use tech. So let's say an order comes for a Maggi, the inventory guy who is there, they will see go to shelf number 3 and column number 4, pick it whatever there is and deliver.
So much more efficient. Basically.
Much more efficient. They use technology. Even I am curious to go inside a dark store and see what technology they are using.
Now, that would be a very good video, like going inside a dark store and actually trying out. And we can also try replacing a product or a tech product. Since now these people are also into tech, we can try replacing a tech product from Amazon and Zepto, Blinkit or Instamart. Like how does that work?
Yeah, surprisingly, like this, a lot of people said that this show won't last forever. COVID tak chalega, फिर बंद हो जाएगा.
Correct.
But it's actually
which is what happened in US and America.
Yeah.
US and Europe. There was Insta Shopper, if I'm not wrong. There was Insta Shopper where if you want to buy something from a grocery store, you would book on it. A person would go stand in the queue on a random grocery store, get the stuff for you and come back. And they saw about 50 or 500 times growth during that time period, but now they are nowhere to be seen.
Yeah.
Because people were scared of going outside in COVID. But in India, it's not stopping. Now, whereas everything outside has failed in Europe or USA, how is Blinkit, Instamart and everything making money in India and at the same time growing? Because you have to make money if you have to grow.
In case of startup, not really. Like currently they are not making money, they are under losses. But if you see the losses has declined, like if I remember, the losses was 300 million or 300 crore in the Q1 of 2020 this year. And 2025 mein Blinkit has projected the losses will be only 3 crore. So from 300 crore
to 3 crore,
to
like
3 crore in
divide by
a year.
100.
So losses have definitely gone down. And all of this, do you know what's the reason why they are able to make it sustainable? What's the thing?
Margins have increased.
No, margins have not really increased. Yeah, margins have increased because people have shifted from groceries to iPhone and PS5. So वहाँ तो margin होगा ही. So yeah, more or less, it's the average value item. Earlier, couple of years back, it was 200 to 300 rupees. Now it has shifted to 400 to 500 average value.
So every person on an average is ordering something worth 400, 500 on Blinkit, let's say Blinkit, and that's why they're able to make more money. So the higher the cart value goes, they'll make more money,
Yeah,
is what it is.
and they generally say once you cross 600 mark, you start becoming EBITDA positive.
Interesting. Things happen very differently in India, and it's surprising to see all of it.
What's most interesting is that Anarc watch that you are wearing.
Yes, the most controversial smartwatch, is this smartwatch a scam? Yeah, come on, go for it, like everything.
So tell me one thing, and I see a lot of stuff on the internet.
Lot of hate videos.
Yeah, a lot of hate videos, but this one, what's your experience?
So first of all, I was really excited to order the watch. It cost us 7,000 rupees. Initial reaction, it's expensive. But I personally liked it in person rather than the website and videos. Like it fits good enough in my hand. Now I ordered it. WhatsApp updates, everything was good. It arrived on time. I'm hearing on Twitter and a lot of places like people's watches have still not arrived. In my case, it was super smooth. Maybe because I'm located in a tier 1 metro city. So most of the parcel aa jate hai time pe. So that has come. But to my surprise, I was trying it to pair with a Pixel phone, Pixel Fold. It didn't work. And I'm reading in a lot of comments and a lot of Play Store reviews. People are saying it's not pairing with an Android watch. It has disconnection issues. But I have a second phone, so I paired it with a second phone, Vivo X200. There it worked well. But again, there are connection issues.
It worked with one of your phone, but it didn't work with the other phone.
Okay. And then I checked on a couple of different phones as well. I checked it on OnePlus. There also it didn't work. Yeah, it didn't work. So it's about 50-50 in my case, or rather it works 75% of the time.
So what does it
25%
work?
of
The
phones
connection issue is there. Bluetooth
it
doesn't.
just, on some of the phones, it just doesn't connect. It just doesn't pair.
Does it get detected?
It gets detected. It gets connected over here.
Huh.
And even in the Bluetooth, but it doesn't show up on the smartwatch app. The smartwatch app says pairing failed or setup failed.
Oh, interesting. So connection issue is there. What about the accuracy part? There was a lot of stress on the accuracy, the fitness tracking. Usme, how was your experience?
So this is the most interesting part. They were posing it as a tech or a fitness or more accuracy driven watch rather than a good looking watch. So the first day I just wore it, went to bed, and it showed that I slept for 12 hours.
You don't sleep
And
for 12
then
hours.
I definitely don't sleep for 12 hours.
I sleep for 12 hours. You don't sleep for 12 hours.
I wish I would have slept for 12 hours, but I was just lying on the bed and it showed. It counted all of the duration that I slept. So then it was interesting for me as well. And they were comparing it to Apple Watch Ultra. So just to check all of that out, this 2-watch story. I started wearing Samsung Watch Ultra, and on the consecutive days where I was sleeping, sleep tracking is way off. It's 1 or 2 hour different. Like I got up, I was sitting on the commode, or I'm maybe sitting somewhere else, and it detects that I'm in deep sleep.
The Anarc watches.
Yeah, the Anarc watch detects that I'm
sleeping. What about
sleeping.
Galaxy Watch?
Galaxy Watch Ultra is quick to detect that I'm awake.
Interesting.
So sleep tracking, a lot of people also said about this in the comments and even in the Play Store reviews, and my experience has been more or less similar with that.
So connectivity is off, sleep tracking is off. What about the other fitness tracking?
Fitness tracking, that's very interesting because it has been compared to Galaxy Watch Ultra, and I have also seen videos of it where they are putting it on an Apple, taking heart rate, and it shows the heart rate of an Apple.
You're doing
or
a
on the
10K
box.
currently.
Yeah.
So did you try it with this Anarc watch?
I'm very interested in smartwatches when it comes to running. Like I've been running for the past 4 years, 4.5 years. So I took this and the Galaxy Watch Ultra on a numerous runs, and the heart rate tracking is off. And the average heart rate tracking
When
is
you
off.
are running, heart rate tracking is off, or when you are just sitting idle?
Oh, so here's the difference. A lot of people don't see that in videos or maybe on and off. Heart rate when you're sitting is usually 60 to 80, and if you're an athlete, it's 40 to 50. So a resting heart rate is very easy to detect. If you just do this like this, most of the smartwatches would give you, if they have a good sensor, most of the smartwatches will give you accurate heart rate reading. But the problem starts when you do cardio related stuff or when you do exercise, where your heart rate is just jumping, going down quickly. going at a very high spike, and when you stop it comes down. So here the Galaxy Watch Ultra was too quick to detect the sensitivity, whereas this was way below, showing like I'm in 120s, 140s, whereas I'm bouncing in like 160, 180. I'm proper running.
On the Anarc watch.
Yeah. So the average heart rate thus comes out 5 to 10% off, and if you see the map, that thing is way off.
Interesting. So connectivity issues, sleep tracking issues, heart rate tracking issues, that's there. What is working? What's working fine?
What's working fine? One thing that I would really appreciate is,
Other than the design.
other than the design,
Everybody
other than the design, I know that's
appreciate design,
that's the design part.
It's so hard.
It's not hard. Now they have pushed the feature, but the calling thing works well. The mic quality on this is good. Surprisingly, it just
Do you
keeps
get a dialer now?
Now they have pushed. Another story. I'm not able to log into my account for some reason.
What account?
The Layers app account or the
Acha.
website. I'm not able to log into my account. I've taken a screenshot. I've sent an email.
So the
There has been no
the
reply on
account
that.
in the website is same as the account that you have to use while signing in the app.
Can be different, but I use the same
Account.
I
And
use
you're
the
not
same.
able to log into both? Or
Yeah,
just
I was logged into the phone app. I forgot my password. I changed it, and then I was logged out of that phone as well. So I was not able to log in on any other phone, and then I was logged out of there as well. So I can maybe create a new account and then pair and start using it. But they have pushed an update, so you get calling from the app, from the smartwatch. You can
Did you
get the dialer and
try
everything.
to contact them, customer support?
I sent an email. I sent an email yesterday. It's been 2 days. There's no reply. So we'll follow up on that.
Interesting. What about refund policies and stuff? Like, let's say, like as a customer, I don't like the experience that I'm having. I didn't sign up for that for 7,000 rupees. Now I want to return it. What options do I have?
So this smartwatch is not available on Amazon and Flipkart, which is understandable. Those people, or generally in electronics, you don't have a return policy. In this case, they don't have a refund policy. If the product is not shipped, I read it on the website. If the product is not shipped, you can ask them to refund the money. They'll do it. But once it's started shipping, there is no refund. If your watch comes out due to manufacturing damage, if it is damaged and all of that, you can send them photos, do them on their email, videos and all of that, and then they would give you the address where you can ship them, and then they will give you a replacement unit after 4 days.
But then again, chalo, issues to hai, but then why is there so much hate on the internet? Like the entire, even a YouTube comments. It's not just any.
Even the Play Store ratings,
Play
I
Store
think
rating is
1.1,
1.1.
and App Store rating is
YouTube
1.5,
comments in every videos, Twitter, everywhere
There was
that
a
you
video
go.
taken down.
There
was a viral video about it.
Viral video that was taken down. So why is there so much hate on the internet?
So now from all of this hate, all of these videos, all of these comments, reviews, everything, what I can understand is there are two sides to this story. There is an audience ka question, viewers ka question, and then there is creators or TechBurner ka video and reply to all of that. And there is a huge mismatch between both of them. Like what the audience is asking is, number one, at 7,000, why is there no auto brightness sensor? Why is there no GPS? If it was too hard to put a GPS into such a big watch, why is there no connected GPS when the watch is specifically targeted at tracking, fitness and all of that. Second is, what about after sales support? If my watch breaks, how much does it cost to repair? Where will I go? Where is the service center? Number three is why there is sleep tracking ka error and all of that. What we will do about it. Number four, the website had some amount of features mentioned which will come, and then it was updated that those features will not come. What about that? Number five was
Apex Wear.
That Chinese text in the app. What about Apex Wear? Why is your watch getting connected to Apex Wear? And we also tried. Why is the Layers watch detecting other Firebolts, Zebronics or other smartwatches if the app is built from scratch? Or if the app, whatever is the scenario, what about that? Then a lot of people have not gotten their watches delivered yet. No customer support reply. Even in my case, I didn't get a reply. So what about that?
Aluminium body.
Another question is, in one of the video, it came up, it was aluminium body, whereas it has been claimed that it is stainless steel. What about that? So there are a bunch of questions, and then I saw TechBurner's video. So the video did address some of it. Like he did say there will be an update which will push calling features and all of that. We are trying to work on things, but that was only 5% of the video. 95% of the video was based on emotions and what journey they have been through to build a smartwatch. And I took this from one of the comments only. The comment was, I'm paying 7,000 for the watch. Like maybe as a company, maybe as a person, you have been through a journey of 2 years to make something. But at the end of the day, I pay 7,000 for this watch. What about the watch? So I do understand video works and video gets viral based on emotions. You have to put emotions, 80% emotion, that's why the video works. We also make videos. But at times, videos need to be factual. You have to come down and answer stuff. So if that video would have been 50% factual and talking about what people are speaking of,
addressing people's questions.
Addressing people's question, because it's not just the audience, the Twitter or the online thread. It's also the Play Store comments. It's also the App Store comments. And it's also genuine user feedback. If 50% would have been that, I think there would be a lot less hate on the entire thing.
So the major reason why there is hate is because there's a mismatch between what people are asking and what the creator is replying. अगर लोग ये पूछ रहे हैं तो क्रिएटर जो है वो यहाँ रिप्लाई कर रहा है, वो गैप बहुत बड़ा है,
गैप बहुत ज्यादा होता है, जब वो गैप बहुत ज्यादा होता है तो दोनों की कॉन्वर्सेशन अलग टेरिटरी में जाती है.
करेक्ट.
And as much as I can think of it, and if I have to wrap the entire experience into one thing, at 7,000 this is 5 by 10. With marketing, you can make a 5 by 10 product 8 by 10 or 9 by 10. Appear it like 9 by 10, you can compare it to Apple Watch Ultra and it might seem like it's 9 out of 10. But when it doesn't stand on those 4-point grounds, it backfires. And now your 5 by 10 product finally appears like 3 by 10.
Yeah. So, which is what
is happening and which is what is reflecting. Because a lot of comments on Play Store I also have read is not related to the watch.
It's
just related to random things.
Yeah.
And if you don't buy the watch, you just download the app, you are eligible to make a review or comment.
Things are very emotional.
Things are very emotional
now on Twitter, Play Store, YouTube comments.
So whenever there is hype, we talk about nothing as a company or previously OnePlus or OnePlus Nord. But you have to understand that product was 7 by 10 for what it was selling. So now the smartwatch market is so low. Like, guess what is the average smartwatch buying price in India?
2,000.
Yeah, $20. Even less than that. It's $20.
1,700.
Correct, 1,800 rupees. And in that amount of money, you get always on display, auto brightness sensor, AMOLED, sleep tracking, 150 workout mode, everything you get in that. So these smartwatch manufacturers have brought the bar so low that people expect a lot of features in 7,000 rupees. So when you arrive with a smartwatch at 7,000, and there will be a huge disconnect because they have seen those phases. If this smartwatch would have come like 2 years ago, people would still have been accepted that because the Firebolt, Bolt and rest of the brands have not come. They didn't introduce all those features. Now people are spoiled by those features at a very low price. Or heavy GPS you get connected GPS. There's no reason why you cannot put connected GPS.
Do you think if it was marketed more towards a lifestyle brand, like design to अच्छा ही है,
100%.
Then
100%.
rather than this extreme fitness tracker, then it would have been better?
I think if this watch was priced low, then also there would not be so much issues with it.
Either price it like 2,000 to 3,000.
Would be unreasonable, maybe 4,000. 4,000. Or if it was marketed as a good looking watch, something what Casio or Boat does. We are a lifestyle company, we happen to do tech. Then also it would have been fine. I think people would have taken that with a grain of salt. It's a good looking watch that can be worn on many occasions and also happens to do some smartwatch features or tracking. And is also decently good at it.
Makes sense.
Okay, I also read about Sundar Pichai's comment on AI, and which was like crazy. He said AI will not see much innovation because the low hanging fruit of your AI eraser, AI article summary and all of that is done. And just after that, they dropped a bomb of an update.
I don't think that would be the case. अभी AI में बहुत सारे innovation. If you remember, OpenAI has promised 12 days में
12 days. Sora, I just got access to Sora, and I'm trying to experiment.
And did you try the Google Deep Research?
Just to like in 2024, if you're not reading about AI or if you're not following AI, whether you're learning or you're in a job, you are missing out on something very high time. This is something like in the 2000s or in the 90s, if you're not learning computer, you're missing out on a very big wave.
Correct.
This is that moment.
Correct. That's why I like tracking, and out of this, I like tracking the Google.
I think last time you recommended that
Notebook LM
app.
Notebook
Even I'm using it. Yeah, it's a very good app. It's a very good app. So yeah, what about the Google update? What's it?
Now, if there is like recently,
what's hot?
What's hot? There are a lot of things that's
the
hot
server,
right now.
The server. server is hot. Yeah.
But this time, like recently, I have tried it. This Google Deep Research. It's a paid tool. Like you have to get that Gemini Advanced, but you do get
A
it
lot
2
of
months.
AI tools are paid.
Every
Even
AI
I'm
is paid.
spending a lot of money, and sometimes there are websites which don't return your money or neither give you access to stuff. But you have to spend money. That's the most sucked part for it.
Yeah.
Out of it.
Especially for Google, like when people see Google services, they expect it to be free. But this Google Deep Research tool, that's actually like the paid one.
Lay Android users. So what is Google Deep Research tool?
So it's like an update that has come to Gemini. You have to go to gemini.google.com, and if you have a Google Gemini Advanced subscription, then in the top right you will see this drop down.
So just a pro tech tip: if you have a Pixel phone, just log into it, the Pixel 9 series, you will get 1 year free.
1 year free.
Gemini Advanced. Pixel 9 Pro series.
Even you get
which
a
is
2
very
months of
few
free
of
trial,
them.
na? I have a paid
3 months.
subscription.
3 months. You
3
get
months
3
ka
months.
to either way you have a free trial.
Acha, so you can try for free.
can
If you
use
still have not cashed into it, you get I think 1 TB space, and then you get Gemini Advanced. It is hard to go back from 1 TB of cloud data, but try kar lo. It is very
Worth
good.
it. So you just go to that gemini.google.com and under drop down select Google Deep Research. Now this is a legit research tool for you. So let's say I have to, like, I was trying to see how good it is. So I was giving it multiple parameters. So I asked Gemini, create a research for me, is Intel failing? So I typed that query and I asked him to give them a research report. So then it opened the entire page and told me that it's going to analyze all the Google search from different like Reddit, newspapers, and all the academic
So it's going to analyze a lot of sources.
Sources.
How many of them? Like just to give you an idea.
Like if Perplexity also does the same thing, but then it's limited to 4 to 5 searches. But Google Deep Research can do up to 25 is what I have seen. So it will open 25 pages, go through that, and it's not just going to read that, understand that. If it finds an interesting link in that article, it will open that as well and try to understand the context. Then after reading all those 25 articles, it will make a summary and give you a Google Docs which you can download. So what I do, how I say, I put that Google Docs into notebook.lm, then create an audiobook, and then I listen to it. So this is like if I'm commuting,
You're making your own podcast.
I'm making my own podcast just to understand anything. So it's a very quick research. If there is a new thing that I know nothing about and I want to get like 70-80% of the idea, I just put it there, listen to the podcast while I'm driving, and I'm on the pace of it. But galat hota hai. Like for example, I give it another query. Why? Like this is a funny one. Why is BJP winning in India since consecutive years? It says no, I won't touch it.
Achha, so it's a
So political thing, they won't touch it. I gave it another query, which was very small query, and the answers was wrong. So what I can see, it's mostly academic, and as long as it's safe, it will work. But if it's like, let's say recent, something that has been launched today, there's not enough articles and not trusted ones.
So interesting. For a video, I wanted to make a balloon burst. So I was asking it, what should I put inside a water-filled balloon so that it would burst? And it would just straight up say, I won't do it. And I said, just for research purpose, I want to show it in a video. And he's like, I understand it's a video. You should ask your audience how to do it. But it wouldn't answer how to put something in a water-filled balloon that it would burst.
AI is very safe that way.
Very safe.
Again, I asked him about a door TV. Like, what's your perspective on a door TV from Micromax and all of that? So it just gave me random bullshit of 43-inch 4K TV. All the compilations. So it is wrong in a lot of way when it comes to news and latest stuff. But if you go back in time and do academics or highly topics that are outdated but has a lot of resources available on the internet, then it's extremely valuable.
That's interesting. So we started off with why Chinese flagships are better than the traditional smartphone brands. Then we ended up on something like Intel, why Intel is failing. I got to know 3 big chances that Intel missed out on the occasions, which led to the rise of 3 giant tech companies which we are seeing and using on a random day-to-day basis. Then that again led to quick commerce, which is changing our life in the way we shop, buy, or use our smartphones or use tech around ourselves. And this is something that is affecting your life every single day. So how that runs on the back end, which also led to very good video ideas that we could work on. And maybe if people want, we can make a full-blown TW explains kind of videos and series on it.
And then we lend to the blown thing on
to
the
the
internet.
most controversial smartwatch currently on the internet, how's our experience is, and why there is a huge disconnect between the audience and the manufacturer, and how they can sort it amongst themselves and both can come on the same page, because it's not as good as it is shown to be, but it's not as bad as it is put down currently. That's there. And then we ended up on another mind-blowing AI tool that you're dropping, that's Google
Deep research, which you can get for free if you follow our pro tip.
if you follow your Pro Max tip. So yeah, this is something that we love talking about. We would be doing sitting here day and night, and we try to condense it and make it valuable for you users. And there were a lot of comment asking about the smartwatch, so we had to do it. Like, you can't put a top-rated comment on 3 videos and then not talk about it. So
I personally am excited about that smartphone award. This is gonna be huge on the biggest scale we have ever
I
done.
have not shot such a grand or a big scale video. Like, I have been to live events, I've done things with people, I've spoken to a crowd of 100, 200 people, but I've still not done such a grand scale video, and my hands tremble like when I think of it. But you are not prepared for this award. There is going to be lot of winners which we didn't expect and have not come in the past 2 awards. Like, there are companies missing out on the entire award thing, but yeah, I'm really hyped up about that.
Yeah. So let's see how it goes, and we will be back to this podcast again, hopefully someday with a guest. Who knows?
Who knows? We will try to continue this.
Bye bye.
By the way, what are we calling this podcast series?
That's on the audience to figure it out.
You call anything that you like, you call on yourself. आप जो बोलोगे हम अपना लेंगे. Like, have a different name for all of us. Like, 10 people wants to call it 10 different names. Have it.
Let's
We do. We are still figuring out a name. Please suggest us.
Call it AIX1240.
let's go.